Aloha, everyone, in another level living land. Welcome, welcome, welcome to another episode of Freedom Fridays. So happy that you're here because we are in store for an amazing special guest and treat today. We are going to be talking about crone wisdom, unlocking the power of age and experience. And before I get into sharing with you and introducing you to our special guest today, let me let you know what the whole Freedom Friday show is all about. It's about supporting you as the entrepreneur and achieving success in your business and life harmony so that you can stress less, strengthen your relationships, lead with much more energy, ease, and momentum, work smarter, not harder, and create your own and enjoy your own time, money, and emotional freedom. It's about creating peace on all sides. And that's exactly what we talk about. So also make sure that you go to anotherlevelliving.com and grab your 7 secrets towards more business and life harmony. You'll be so glad that you did. Okay, so here it is. We are going to be having an amazing conversation with this beautiful lady named Valerie Ritchie. Valerie, thank you so much for being here and blessing us with your time today.
Thank you, Dr. Heather, for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Yes, yes. And we are in store for a treat. I cannot wait to hear the wisdom and share this wisdom that comes out of this amazing lady's mouth today. So, let me tell you who she is. Valerie Ritchie is also known as the Crone Goddess. She empowers women, midlife women, and her advocacy for self care, self love, self first. An esteemed, engaging speaker and writer, she champions the celebration of Crone Goddess Wisdom, offering transformational insights and practical strategies for embracing life's later chapters with grace and empowerment. Her notable contributions include keynote speeches, impactful articles, and a global community of followers. Committed to demystifying midlife, Valerie inspires women to step into their power and celebrate the richness of their experiences. Connect with her and be able to learn how to embrace your inner crone goddess. Oh my goodness, Valerie, this is amazing. Oh, tell us, please tell us, why is this something that's so important? And also, what led you to this work?
Well, I believe it's important because within each of us, there is a goddess. And when we hit midlife, that's when the goddess comes out. So it's about embracing that crone goddess, that wise woman, that experienced woman, the woman that has lived. And that's when it comes out in midlife. So, what got me to this stage
Mhm.
is going through midlife myself. Now, midlife is about the ups and downs, the roller coasters. And what I will say, midlife, it's more than menopause. Okay.
Mm,
Because a
mm.
lot of times people focus on menopause as, oh, that's midlife, it's menopause. But there is actually more to life than menopause. And that's what I'd like to get across. There's so many things that go on in a woman's life. And this tends to be the stage where it might become more impactful. It might explode. You're ready to erupt, let it out, and you're ready for it. And it's about helping women to bring that out.
Oh my goodness, that is so good. Because usually, right, we think about as we're getting older into midlife that there's this negative connotation with it. Even this like resistance to even thinking about menopause like
Mm,
it's a bad, bad thing. And what I love is that you're helping us really be able to own and honor. That's when our greatness happens. That's when our ability of the wisdom that we've learned through our knowledge, skills, and experience on this life, they all come to life. And
absolutely.
oh my goodness. And you're helping us kind of be able to bring that out and
Yes,
let
because
it show.
it's like what women do naturally is we look after everybody else. We forget about ourselves. And you come to a point in your life where you're thinking, there must be more than this. Who am I now? What do I actually want? And when you get to that stage, there's so much going on that you're thinking, oh, I'm aging, got a career transition, or you've got the kids that might still be at home, or the kids that are leaving home. You've got your parents that are aging, and then you've got all this, and then you've also got your relationships with your husband, that your partner in the household. So there's so much going on at the same time that potentially you might be going through the menopause. Now, the
Mm.
thing with the menopause, it's a natural state of a woman's life. It's just natural. It's been going on for year dot. It's just a natural stage. And I always say it's almost like you're hitting that stage where you've made it, and then you go past it. And
Right.
then you start living life to the full. And then you start thinking, this is more. There's more to me than being a mum, being a sister, being a manager, the taxi driver, the household keeper, the lover, the wife. There's so much more to us. And for me, the one thing that's sometimes missing is the me. When you
Mm.
say to yourself, this is me, and
Yes.
that sometimes is the missing piece because you've forgotten who you are.
Well, and what's so interesting is that, here at Another Level of It, we talk about how your business is an extension of all that you are. Your life is an extension of all that you are. So we have these great responsibilities, right? These different things that are going on, but it all is an extension of us. So how we go is how the fluidity of all those things go.
Yeah,
Please, please, please share with us, what are some strategies? Like, what are some ways like we can be able to, first of all, like we're bringing awareness to it, but what can we do about it? Because there's oftentimes, like I said, how can we shift it from this like negative connotation to really being able to be like, okay, cool, and let it be a vibe up kind of
yeah.
thing. Okay, cool. Tell
So
us.
if you think about the grandmother, the matriarch of a family, that's how it used to be perceived. And we went to that grandmother because that grandmother had wisdom. She'd been there, she had experiences. That's who we are. That's who we become. We might not physically have been that grandmother, but that's who we become. So it's about looking at how can I get from that all busy about everybody else's stage to more about who I am. And this is where I talk about time for me. And this is where we look at self care, self love, and self first.
Okay.
And once we master those, we understand that we have to put ourselves first, because if we're not fulfilled, how can we fulfill other people? How can we put into our families? How can we put into our business, or other passions if we're not looking after ourselves first? So it's about looking at steps that you can do to actually embrace who we are. So, for instance, you remember when we were a child, and as a child, you were going to be an astronaut, you were going to be the doctor, you were going to be anything in the world. And somewhere along the way, society sort of puts these labels and keeps you back. Now, one
Hmm.
of the things when I speak to my clients is about let's go back to the child. Ask your child who you are. Ask your child whether you're doing what you wanted to do. And that's actually really looking into yourself. So it can be very hard to do that. And one exercise is looking in the mirror, looking in the mirror into your own eyes and see yourself. And not a lot of people, women in particular, can look in a mirror and see who they are without going, oh, I've got a grey hair, or oh, my lines, or, this. But if you can actually look in the mirror and see in your own eyes, because they say the eyes are the windows to the soul. And if
Mm-hmm.
you can look deep into your own eyes and tell yourself things about yourself. So, for instance, I look into my own eyes in the mirror, stay there for a while, and I can say, Valerie, I like you. Valerie, I love you. Valerie, you have a funny laugh. I love that about you.
Yes, you do.
You have a cheesy grin. You can say these things, but that can be very hard for a lot of people to do is actually stare in the mirror and look into their own eyes. And
So
that is
so let me
one thing. Go,
Oh, well, let's stay on this one thing for a minute. I want to pause you for a moment because
go.
this was actually a really great awareness. I shared with people before how I used to look in the mirror and I hated everything that I saw. Like, and I'm saying this because some people can relate to that. Like Valerie said, you're picking out these pieces, right? But now I look into the mirror and I love everything that I see, right? And it just gets better and better. And that's what Valerie is talking about. It is possible to create that transition. You don't have to have a great past to have a great future, but how you are viewing yourself
Yeah,
really matters way more than how other people view you. Because everybody's
100%.
going to have their different perspectives. So I love that self-love, self-care, self-love, self-first. So
Yes,
good. Okay.
yes.
All right.
Because
What's another one?
you really have to dig deep into that. And it's like when people talk about self-care.
Okay.
And when we say self-care, we start thinking about, oh, going to a spa or going for lunch. It's a little bit deeper than that. It's
Tell
about
us more
finding,
about that. Yeah.
about finding exactly what you like to do yourself. And self-care is about saying like no to somebody. No is a full sentence, and you can actually say no because you're prioritizing yourself and you're looking after yourself. Self care could be the fact you think about it in the whole scope of wellness, your whole well being. And we're talking physical, we're talking emotional, we're talking mental, we're talking spiritual, environmental, social. That is about self care. So you're looking at what helps you,
So
what
good.
you really want to do, as opposed to tagging along with other people. It could be the fact that you like to read. How much time do you give yourself to just sit down and read a book? It's like going deeper than the typical looks of self care, what people normally say, get your nails done and get your hair done.
Because that's
It's
all
internal thing.
external, right? It's like
Yeah,
yeah, it's all that external stuff. So it comes from that intrinsic side. I wish that this was like stuff that they taught in school. Like how many
yeah,
kids could really be able when they own that part, of them, think about all the girls and all the comparisons that they go through and all that stuff, and they see all this external, but it
mm,
really has nothing to do with that as much as it has to do with that internal.
yes.
You
I
know.
mean, I was thinking about this morning, this
Okay.
morning, my time.
Okay. She's in
I was,
London, by the way.
yeah, and I was thinking,
We're international today. I just want to
yeah,
highlight that.
yeah. You know, when a baby's born, it's all about them. When a baby is born, they're like demand everything. It's like pick me up, feed me, change my nappy, play with me, make me laugh. They demand it. It's all about them because they've already got that. They're so aware of themselves without thinking too broad that it's all about them. And yet we all play along, don't we? We all pan to this child because we think, oh, it's a baby, yay. But once you're a baby, it's all about them. And it's, to me, it's almost like getting back to that playful stage of a baby, of a child, when it's all about yourself. And that is not being selfish. It's just understanding what suits you, what makes you feel good, what lights your boat up, you know, being able to go out and just do things without having to speak to somebody else and feeling free to actually do that. It's not
Right.
to say you're ignoring anybody, but you're prioritizing yourself, you know, put it on your calendar, me time. You book it in and nobody comes around, nobody speaks to you, your phone's off, you have nobody's involved in your actual me time. These are the
Mm,
things that women need to start embracing because just because we're getting older doesn't mean our life's over. It's actually starting again because you have so much more to you. You have that experience, you have the challenges that you've gone through. And along the way, you probably don't even recognize how much you've actually achieved, the strengths that you've gained along the way, the skills that you've gained. You have so much more to offer. And that is what midlife is about. It's about taking that on, finding your voice, and sharing your wisdom.
Oh my goodness, so good. So good. Well, now tell us, how do you help people and support women in embracing this transition?
So, first of all, it's not easy. That's the key thing to understand because change is never easy. And it's about you being willing to actually make a change, regardless of what it is. It's small steps. So, for instance, if you come to me, I'm going to deep dive into your life. I'm going to pick on all the areas that, your life is like. Who in your family supports you? Or how much do you support other family members? Who are you supporting? Who's on your trunk and holding you tight? Or who's on the branches just dangling, that you're spending a lot of time with these people. Because
Nice.
the one thing in midlife, your social circle changes, and along the way, these people might drop off, your friends might drop off. But at the same time, you pick up new friends because you have changed. Your
Yes.
outlook has changed. It might be the fact that you're more passionate about something else, and then it's changed, your direction's changed. It doesn't mean that you've let go of these people and that's it and forever. It just means you're on a different path.
And what I love is that you're talking about helping them see all the sides of their life, right?
Yeah.
And then where they fit in it and being able to help them there. Like, so good, so profound, and so needed, right? That
Yes.
deep
Yeah.
dive, because if a lot of times if we stay on the surface, then change doesn't happen. And the only a lot of times we resist change, but the
Yeah.
only constant is change. The only constant, going back to
Absolutely.
that baby, right? That's
Yeah.
how I started being aware of it when my daughter, I'm looking at my daughters, and every single day they're literally changing. And it's like, oh my goodness, we just got settled in this first way, and now you do something else. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, you're walking? Like
Yeah.
every change requires a pivot. So you're helping them do it with much more ease, grace, and flow.
Yeah. Because we're not the same person as we were yesterday. Something's
No.
changed. We are just not the same person.
Oh
You
my
know,
goodness.
we're changing every single day. And it's about accepting those changes. And we can do something about it because that's the one thing we do have is choice.
Okay. Ah, so good. I want y'all to share in the comments, because what is your biggest takeaway that she said so far? What are some of the wisdoms that you're able to learn in this moment? Let us be able to hear your comments. And Valerie, tell us, like, based on everything that you shared, because it was so much amazing wisdom, what would be like the biggest takeaway that you would love to leave us with today?
I would say the biggest takeaway is accepting that you actually have choice. You
Mhm.
choose your path. You can choose to take action. You choose when you are ready. We're not all ready at the same time, but one thing we do have is actual choice. And it's about
Nice.
saying yes to ourselves.
Yes. I love it. Oh my goodness. So amazing. So good. Thank you for sharing this amazing wisdom with us. How can we continue this journey on? Like, how can our audience be able to continue to learn more about you? Do you have a gift that you can be able to lead us to today?
Yes, I have a 5-part coaching program. It's an online program and it's about courage, risk, and rewards. And it's about that taking that chance, So it's almost like that first step where you start reviewing your life and then you make these little small changes that can help you move forward.
Nice. I'll make sure that we put the link into the chat below. Her website is transformationinaction.co.uk, and we'll make sure that you'll have the direct link to be able to grab your free gift today. And oh my goodness, this has been so empowering. How can they can get to you on your website? Where else can they be able to see you at?
So I'm often on LinkedIn.
Okay.
So that's
Okay.
probably one of the best places to actually catch me on LinkedIn. And I do have my own Facebook group, which is the Sisterhood of Embracing Your Inner Goddess.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. So we'll make sure we also put those links in the chat for you as well. This has been an absolutely amazing episode of Freedom Fridays. We really appreciate you coming on and sharing your wisdom and your message. And I know that if those of you who are listening, sharing is caring. So if you were inspired by this message, which I know that you are, go ahead and share this message out and give someone else the gift of really being able to own their midlife with ease and grace. Look forward to seeing you again soon on another episode of Freedom Fridays. Let this message marinate through your mind, body, and soul all weekend until next time we see you. All right.